Hi, and welcome to season 2 of Asteria's Combos, where we're a community building the future. I'm your host, Asteria Elzea, hosting from unceded Tongva land. Identify strongly as a farm girl thanks to my childhood on the traditional lands of the Sauk and Fox peoples. I'm also chronically ill, non binary, neurodivergent, and polyamorous. And I'm a practicing witch. My life is super affected by my PTSD, as well as my white settler ancestry. I've spent the last decade training in human connection to connect to ourselves, to people different than us, and to be in community with each other. I'm highly trained in attachment and trauma informed group facilitation. My work history is widely varied: theatrical technician, special events coordination, bud tender, you know, at a dispensary, t-shirt shop manager, and data analyst. I hope this podcast is informed by all my experiences and my education, in addition to my guests. Season 2 has a thread flowing through it about how our hope for the future is learning to have more intentional collaboration with others. We must build coalitions, and we must look out for each other. Let's get down to business.
Hi, and welcome to Asteria's Combos, where we're a community building the future. I want to let today's guest introduce herself with her name and pronouns, and then what identities do you lead with in the world? And I'm going to light a candle to get our ritual started.
Hey, thank you. I am Ashley Perretta, and I use she, her primarily, but actually any and all pronouns make my heart happy. So there's that. Identities. I think I lead with friend, nerd, storyteller, neurodivergent, queer. Those are some top tier ones.
Yeah, definitely. Those are great identities. I have a lot in common with them. Ashley, what's your work in the world?
Well, I'm kind of in a transitionary period in my life. For most of the work I've done in the world has been in performing and teaching, specifically theater, musical theater, and dance, swing dancing.
Yeah. And I think your life circumstances are pretty special and unique. So you get to be more available to your community. Why?
Well, my partner and I have spent almost all of our relationship working on financial independence. So paying down our debts, living well beneath our means, and saving and investing tons and tons and tons in order to be able to be sustained by those investments. We're very fortunate. We've had really great paying work in our lives, and we don't have a lot of expenses, even though we live in Los Angeles. So we don't have kids, we don't have pets, we don't own a home. We have in the past. That's been part of our investment stuff. But now we live in a way that we're able to have more time and the financial security to give back in the ways that we've always wanted to. This has kind of been that is the means to our end, which is to be able to give and create and cultivate more of what we value in the world.
Yeah. I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your values. What are your values?
Let's see. I haven't thought about these or spoken them in words in a while, so this is fun.
We were just talking about them 20
Yeah, we were. So,
Yeah.
I mean, community and it is a big one, but I think it's interesting because it's multifaceted. So within community, there's love and connection and communication. People are, the reason I get up in the morning and always have been. And, the connection to them, I think, is what makes humans special and what makes life worth living. Like,
Yeah,
we don't get a long time here.
absolutely. And you and I have a very special and unique friendship because we both think about friendship, I think, in the same way and community in the same way, where, yeah, that's what makes it worth getting up every day is that I've got people to spend time with and to care about and to be there for.
And to learn from and to collaborate with and to create and make the world magical.
Yeah,
Wi
exactly. That's the magic of life.
Yeah.
So, how are you building community since it's such an important value to you?
Historically, I have been a dance teacher, and I started that, oh, back in 2014. Not a thing I ever thought I would fall in love with the way I did, but understanding the joy that I could bring to other people in helping them access their bodies and understand this art form. Swing dancing is a Black American art rooted in jazz music. And jazz music has such deep, emotional, human connection at the heart of it
Mhm. Yeah.
that to be able to have the privilege of teaching it and teaching it with those values at the core, to be able to give people access to their own self expression and understanding how their body works, introduce them to the music that brings all these people together and able to, it's a partner dance, it's a social dance. And so when you get to do this dance, you're honoring all of those stories and the history of our nation and the people and connecting in times of joy, connecting in times of sadness, in fear, in anger, in love, in, all of the human experience. So that's kind of been a big part of my community building historically. And now taking a step back from that, my partners and I are really thinking about new ways that meet all of our intersections of interests and passions and skill sets. So we're all craftspeople. And a lot of ideas have been floating around about creating a community makerspace because strangely enough, there's not one here in LA that really, or not enough of them. They're not as accessible. They're far away. They're expensive. They're not well maintained. And with our resources, that's a big passion project coming up.
You guys have great resources for that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're creators, we're crafty,
Well, and
but
our whole community as creators, we're like one of the things I was thinking about a lot when I asked you on here was we have friends who all go to this event called Neotropolis,
Mhm.
and one of them reached out to you and was like, "I need help with the Uranium Arcadium, the, like, big project,
Yeah.
building an arcade in a space in the city block we build in the desert." And you project managed that whole thing and also did a lot of the personality management as the project manager.
I think that's the job, yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, yeah, I did that. That was a big endeavor and so rewarding and really taught me a lot about myself and opened my eyes to this unique skill set I have. I speak lots of different flavors of neurodivergent. I can interpret different people's ideas and thoughts and understand where lots of people are coming from and help bridge that gap, help them work together to create beautiful things.
yeah, that ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see where they're coming from really does make it easier to, like, connect and manage people.
Yeah.
And then also the speed with which you had to get it done was it was a month ahead of time.
Yeah.
And Also, just we are a community of creators, as you had mentioned before. We have people who are woodworkers and who are 3D printing things and are who are can do the in
LED programming and
computers and the
yeah,
yeah, like build the insides of computers, but also do the programming and
and painters,
painters and
artists,
like
and yeah.
costumers.
Yep.
So a makerspace sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
And I have noticed that a lot of them in LA are like an hour away from me.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get, and in this place that is full of such creativity and so many people, it was just astounding to us as we started to, go down that path of like, well, what does exist? What has exists? Why doesn't it exist the way it does in other places? Is this a, need that we can address? Is this something that, we could help to bring to more people? And, it brings people together, creating things, physically making stuff, working on, you know, all of the design elements of something, being able to give people access to really expensive machinery that they wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to do.
Yeah. Okay, so I was like with our friends recently and moving furniture around, and like a part of a cat tree had gotten broken, a platform, and I was like, just cut that out with a jigsaw and you can replace it, put it back on there, it'll be fine. And our friend was like, "Oh, I don't have a jigsaw." I've got a jigsaw. Like,
Well,
but how do we all let each other know what tools we have? And like, you're welcome to use my jigsaw anytime, any day, because it's not like I'm regularly using my jigsaw in my
right.
apartment. But
Yeah.
like, we've all got these tools and collectivizing the use of them
Hmm.
is so much better.
It is.
I've been thinking a lot lately about what the nuclear family stole from us
Mm,
and the concept of that because they wanted us all to live individually. And so then we all have to buy our own things. We all have to buy
yeah.
our own tools. We all have to and it was really a marketing ploy, the
Oh,
nuclear
yeah.
family.
Well, yeah. It's inherently, capitalistic and
White
really,
supremacist too.
yeah. It's really rooted in that racist world we have.
Yeah. So how do we, as people that are constantly breaking down the norms, because
Hmm.
we're a pretty poly community and working to live more collectively anyway, what do we, you know, we're breaking down those norms with sharing
Yeah.
resources.
Sharing resources and making things just accessible. Like all of my classes when I was teaching were always pay what you can. I was working to make sure to, you know, ungender the dance, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a role, a lead and a follow. It's not a gender. Dance roles, not gender roles. That was the hashtag for a long time. Making sure that queer and non-conforming bodies and humans really felt safe in this, you know, community of historically, like swing dancing got whitewashed with the rest of Black culture and history in the way that it does in our society. And so to take that back and make it, accessible and safe for the people, who I could in the ways that I identified with. And it was very important to me. It was interesting, like, I was thinking about that and how the people who wanted what I was giving and what I had to offer always found me, and why that was, and why that kept being a recurring theme in my classes and in my work in the world is I really think the better you know yourself, the better you can communicate it, the more you live your values, like, be about it, don't talk about it. And you attract the people who are into what you're into. You are attracted to those people because it's clear. you can see when someone has a grasp on who they are and what they want and what is important to them. They behave differently. And
What's that behavior look like?
they are compassionate often. They reach out to people. They spend their resources in ways that are cohesive, right? So resources, time, money, energy, those are, our big ones.
Mhm.
And time is finite. Energy is variable. Money is fleeting, especially in our expensive ass city. So where people are spending their resources every day, like really shows me who somebody is. Are they taking the time to call somebody, text somebody? Are they donating money to different causes? Are they using that money to help people in need? Are they are they holding space for someone, sharing their energy, cheering their friends on, being with them when they're having a hard time? I don't know. Does that answer the question?
It does. Yeah. Those are all the ways that I try to show up. And like, as you're listing things, I'm thinking of examples of people. Like, one of my partners during the fires, has been unemployed for over a year and still immediately was like, let me go out with my chainsaw to help clear brush, and like was digging through people's trash, or
Yeah.
like, the ash and soot from their house to help them find stuff that's salvageable. Or just like you the other day were like, I want to have a nice day with Assyria. And so I'm going to spend my financial resources on what I want to do, but with Asteria.
Yeah.
And just, yeah,
I don't know if I can stress enough that there is not one way.
yeah,
Like, it is not all about money. We do live in a capitalist hellscape,
true.
which is all about money.
Yeah,
But like I said, there's been many years in my life where I've had no money.
yeah,
Most of my life growing up, I've had no money. And these lessons I learned and these things I cultivated came from that. They came from my resource is my time, my resource is my energy. My resource, and that can change from day to day, right? Like, if what you have to give is 25% today and you give 25%, that's you giving your all. That's you giving what you can. If what the best thing you can do for your community today is to rest so that you can heal and show up even stronger tomorrow, that is important.
yeah,
Like, so it's not one thing. It's not only about money. In fact, it's only very recently since we've been able to do this with our money.
yeah, yeah. Well, and like, we have a friend who has a house where they let other people throw parties,
Yeah,
and that's a resource. And yeah, there are so many resources that don't have to be, oh, I donated money to the cause.
right. It's like
Oh,
I have friends who they like to cook. And so
yeah,
they'll show up and they will, like, we were doing the build for the fort party, and they don't maybe have a lot of time or, this, that, or the other, but they're going to donate cooking. They're going to come and make sure people are fed while they're working. And like, that is so important. They're going to maybe tidy the house while we're all doing things so that nobody's tripping over things. Like, every piece, no matter how small, counts.
yeah. Well,
Is
and
what
also
makes it.
during the fort party, which is our like community's kind of biggest party of the year, I had spent a bunch of my time like helping a partner out. I had like traveled with her to pick up stuff, and I had other stuff going on and I was so exhausted. plus I've got my chronic illness, so I was like, I have to save energy for the party
Mhm.
itself. And so I like contacted our host eventually and I was like, Gandalf, I feel like butter scraped over too much bread and I can't show up and help, but I'll send tips. And our friend was like, you don't have to send money. I know funds are tight for you right now. Like, you just can come.
Yeah.
And just my presence was enough. And that's important too.
That is the heart of it is, like, when we are all doing what we can, when we can, there is room for others to rest, to recover, to simply show up, and that is a cycle that really, in my heart, is the way to make the world better.
Yes, I agree. I think that, each of us being happier with ourselves gives us more resource to, show up for other people. And then the more we show up for other people and make their lives easier and
So on
such,
and so forth. Yeah.
so on and so forth, than they can for other people. And then now it's exponential growth on things
And
being
showing people, like, in our crazy world, which is always imploding and something unprecedented is happening, showing people what is possible
yes.
is super helpful. Like, I get such tunnel vision and can't see the forest for the trees, and then somebody shows me an option, and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that was an option. I
Hmm.
could do that." Like, somebody explains to me, "Well, like, you can do this, that, and the other thing." They, you know, teach me that I can borrow things from people, and I start to think in a different way. I start to untangle the trash that's in my brain from the society we're in to start to create the society we want.
Yes.
So my brain doesn't automatically go to, shit, I gotta buy that. I don't have the money for that. I gotta work to get the money for that. Da 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 da. It goes to, like, my first thought is, I wonder if any of my friends have one of those. I wonder if I can thrift that. I wonder if I can find that, if I can trade for that. Like, the idea of, like, of trade for services and products and goods, like, we're so disconnected from that. And this kind of work really, I think, is heading back towards that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How, and that brings us into how are you looking towards the future with your actions?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so, like, I think a little bit of what I said before about kind of trying to create a makerspace, a community nonprofit thing is part of the future plans. Another thing that actually one of my metamor came up with the other day is we had just gone to see some shows at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland,
Yeah.
where my husband is from, and, you know, somebody was saying, "Well, why isn't that in LA?" And it's like, "Oh, LA is not a theater place," but it could be. It
And that's false.
Yeah, it's just it could be so much more. Why not address this need? Why not capitalize on the talent that's here, the resources that are here? What can we do, to maybe create more art and more connection and be able to hire people to do more work? And I mean, theater is one of theater and film is it's always struck me as an industry that there's a job for everything. There's
Yes.
so many little tiny jobs. There's somebody's job who's to move this from there to there. There's somebody's job to hold this. There's somebody's job to tape this to the floor. There's and those are all different jobs,
Yeah.
which, in itself is community, is like myriad of people working together to create something, to execute something, to build something.
Yeah. Absolutely. I came up in theater. So definitely it was a way of thinking collaboratively
Yeah.
And I know all the politics about LA's theater community and or lack thereof over the last decade.
It's different than other places for
It
sure.
is. It is. And we've had organizations that have tried, and there's a specific situation happening here with the film industry and how a lot of theater here is view it as a step to the film industry rather than a cause unto itself.
Yeah.
And so that can cause like weird disparities sometimes.
Mhm.
But if there's anything that'll teach you to put something together on a non-budget
Mhm.
and make it wonderful and magical and the best it can be, it's theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole, like, creating a festival or opportunities for more theater, and then, like, also a project we're working on is maybe seeing what the immersive industry has to hold, which kind of
Yeah.
is encompassing of all of the things I just said, I think. The
Yeah.
crafting part of our life and the performance part of our life and the community part of our life, like, an immersive industry, to me, touches on all of those things. It's artists and craftspeople and, you know, patrons and performers and in ways that, like, overlap to create this experience,
Well,
and
and
that's what
LA
Neotropolis,
does have
you know?
what did you say? Sorry.
That's, like Neotropolis, like you were saying.
Yeah. LA does have like such an interesting take on the immersive industry too.
Mhm,
We have like I would definitely say some of the front edge stuff happening in the immersive industry. And like you can go from theme parks, which are the initial immersive industry.
worked in those all my life.
Yeah. And then you go to like, I don't know, we have a thing going on right now that's popular called Cortege, or I'm not
Mhm.
sure how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
like
that.
an October spirit-based death funeral celebration
With
slash
puppets
silent
and
disco with
silent
puppets.
discos and
Yeah,
robots
and
and
robots.
drones, and, like, it's
Yeah.
just such a multimedia experience.
So and then we've got the big ones like Halloween Horror Nights or Not Scary Farm or the Arcane Experience,
Mm,
and they start here. And that's so interesting too. And then you get the people that are professionally creating these things with lots of money being like, I want to create my own thing with my money.
mhm,
And that's when some of the like really interesting creative stuff comes out. And like our community that you and I are in is constantly creating immersive events that are just parties, but that party gets people out of their heads,
yep.
out of dealing with all the daily world. It gets thinking creatively, building new things, and able to have joy in kind of this dumpster fire of a
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
And
Teaches them new skills,
yeah,
like, it's all the things we've been talking about. It's giving people the opportunity, it's showing them what is possible. It's, coming together to make something happen, to give people an experience, to share and celebrate each other and life and all of the, intricacies of it, to cry together, to rage together, to, laugh together, to play together.
and that togetherness is really what I want for the future.
Yeah.
Less individuality. And
More
we're not going to move into conformity. We're going to move into more togetherness as our unique selves.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We each have skills and passions and different capacities and different, you know, brains and hearts.
Well,
and spirits.
yeah, I might have a lot of capacity for showing up for people socially and in
Mhm.
one-on-one situations, but I'm not gonna with my, like, joints and stuff, I'm not the best person for carrying things.
Sure.
Or, like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna stay up late with you programming something because I
Right.
have to go to sleep. I get sleepy at 10:30. It's
Yep.
bedtime. It's
Yeah.
bedtime.
Yeah. I
But
think
you do have the people that can do that.
yeah, exactly. And when we really sit down and examine who we are, when we know who we are and what we're about, you start to learn what you have to offer. You start to be able to value what you have to offer, which is a huge thing that like I have learned. It's like, we think we're so small and insignificant because the world has kind of told us that. And to learn that the thing that you thought was little, that you maybe have to give, to share, to teach is actually very important and actually very impactful. And when it's set alongside all of your other people's things as well, is like a fucking megazord of community and growth and love is awesome, is really awesome. So, to that respect, I'm always hunting for new opportunities to volunteer and collaborate with others on different projects and learn and grow. Cause, like, I have these, values and ethos and, way I live and things like that. But a big part of that is that it's not stagnant, that I don't think that, oh, I've done it. I've learned it, right?
Yeah.
It's not, growth just for the sake of growth. I'm not trying to burn myself out, right? I'm being open to change, being open to adapting, being open to learning when I can, when it's right, when I need to. And, I'm chugging along on the things that I know and the things that are serving me and working, but I have the capacity to reflect and to assess and I have a community that I can bounce things off of and say, do you think this is serving me and us and the world? Or is it time for an upgrade? Is it time for, you know, maybe rest? Is it time for this or that or the other thing? We don't live long enough to make all of our own mistakes. So, really being able to, it's like a flaw of the human brain, like that we have to put our hand on the stove to learn things. I really wish we could figure out a way to not do that. But until then, trying our best to glean what we can and learn from other people's mistakes and, get education from each other is super valuable, right? I have a bunch of friends who are like, "Oh, your therapist, I need to write her a letter and send her a care package because I feel like I'm getting secondhand therapy through you." And it's true. It's true. I am not a trained professional, but I am capable of sharing the things that I have learned in a way that is take what you want. Here is the buffet. Here is how it served me. Here's why it served me. Try it. See if you like it. Put it on. Tweak it. Throw it out. Like,
Try your own version of it. Like,
yeah, like, and if everybody has that openness, that open heart, is able to share their experiences in that way, or the more people that are, the bigger the buffet is, the more everybody's fed, the faster everybody heals, and the stronger we get. It's cool, man.
yeah, I can't tell you, my husband and I have been having just financial stress this
Yeah.
year. And I can't tell you how many people have been like, yeah, come over for dinner or like, let's get lunch and have gotten me lunch or like,
Or let's cook instead of go out. Like,
let's cook instead of go out or shown up with you and Owen have shown up at my house with food. And it's not that we are like so under stress that we don't have food, but I don't cook.
Right.
It really stresses me out, and I don't have the executive function for it, and it feels like 50 million steps to me. And so just the ways that other people have fed me physically
Mhm.
have been so important to me. And it's not just the food, but the care, the community, and the love on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a unique and special community we have. And I would like other people to have it as well.
Yeah.
So
Have
that's
their
all.
versions of it, have,
Yeah.
and maybe we learn from them too.
Yes. We
Hopefully.
absolutely learn from them too.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. We learned from an
Buffet.
Oregon Shakespeare Festival. And
Right.
yeah.
This is our buffet, come try it. Let me try yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's that's the main point. Ashley, what are you here to promote?
Oh, what am I here to promote? I think, I've listened to your show a good deal,
Yeah.
and I think I fall more in the concept house
Yeah.
of what I'm here to promote. And I'd say the more you know who you are, the better you communicate, the more you're attracted to and attract those people that, are like-minded, the stronger and healthier you and your community can become. And then the greater impact you can have on the world. Because we are constantly bombarded by the idea that we have to make a huge change or do something massive to make a difference. But the little things really add up. So the concept of keeping that in the forefront of your mind, stocking your tool belt, practicing new ways of being and growing with patience and grace.
Yeah.
Right? Things are not overnight. And if you can hold on to the little at a time mentality, the, what is a small way I can contribute or what do I have to offer sort of thing, then you're doing something right.
You said a phrase that I caught on, which was stocking your tool belt.
Mm.
Am I putting my monkey wrench in there?
I mean,
Or did you mean like metaphorically?
both,
Both.
right? Your jigsaw is
My
stocked
jigsaw's in there.
is in there, right? Your
Yeah.
jigsaw, but also maybe I don't have personally, I don't have a lot of tools. I have a little tiny tool bag of physical metal tools, but I have a lot of emotional tools
Yeah.
and those are stocked and ready to let people use. I have, a lot of idea tools. I can problem solve in cool ways and those are things, but and every time I learn something new from somebody else, it's now in my tool belt,
Yeah.
right? Just keeping that tool belt stocked means that when life throws you those curveballs, you can use them.
Mhm.
You can help somebody else who can't lift that tool because they're going through something physically, mentally, emotionally to use it. Use it together, right? Like you and I have sat together so many times and body doubled a tool,
Yeah.
a tool. We are struggling to move. We are stuck. And just having the other person in the space is helping each other to lift what we need to lift that day, to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Like we sat together and made schedule.
For
And
me.
then I left for a month. And when I came back, just having sat and made the schedule with you, you then iterated on it and took it in all the directions and were able to get so much done, be so successful.
Yeah.
So know
So
yourself.
you used your organizing tools and your tool
Right.
and helped me with my also executive function thing where if I don't know what I need to work on, then I just sit there all day having anxiety instead.
Yeah.
But now I got a little list.
And you know how to make the list. You've done the process. You have a framework to use or to tweak or to maybe the framework I give you absolutely does not work for you. And you're like, well, at least I know not that way. So I'm clearer on what I am hunting for.
Yeah.
There's not one right way to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of ways. Find your way, and know that the reason we are so successful as a species is because we're pretty amazing at adapting.
Yeah. Well, and also the more diversity there is in a species, the more successful it is. So finding your
Rich.
way,
Yes.
finding your way makes the whole species more successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's the main point for why I brought you on here.
Amazing. Amazing. Sorry, I may have gotten ADHD lost in the weeds, but
I don't think you did.
Hopefully people enjoy my buffet and they
Yeah.
can take little bits of what they want. Please reach out to me if you'd like me to sample your buffet metaphorically. I'm excited to see, who else is drawn to our community and what other new things come into our life.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I feel honored.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Asteria's Combos. If you'd like to donate to the show and support my work, you can go to ko-fi.com/asteriasrest. That's ko-fi.com/asteriasrest. You can also buy my digital illustrations or hire me for life or values coaching on my shop, which is on stargirlcreative.com. You can also read about me there and find out anything else about what I work on. For speaking and workshops, you can email me at asteria@stargirlcreative.com. And if you just want to follow me and keep up, follow me on at asteria.elzea on Instagram and Threads. I'm so glad you're here, and see you soon. We're Asteria's Convos, where we're community building the future.